I believe in them. But contradicting the president's statement, in Maine, our largest health system reported that absences of
Senator Collins.
vaccinated staff caused by COVID-19 last week was at the highest point since vaccines became available. It's increased by fourfold. Does the message
A minute ago, she said, I can't get an answer from you, so I'm going to ask this in a different way.
vaccinated still hold true with the emergence of Omicron? And do you agree with the New York Times, which has twice reported that while the COVID vaccine is critical in preventing hospitalizations and death, it is less effective against the Omicron variant?
No, you don't agree with that.
Thank you for that question, Senator. Yes, indeed. It is. There's no doubt that the Omicron variant, when you look at the protection against symptomatic disease and asymptomatic infection, dramatically goes down to about 30%. What maintains itself, it goes up to about 70. It's about 70% against severe disease. When you boost, what happens is you get a rather significant reconstitution of the protection, particularly against hospitalization. So if you were to say that Omicron, or even COVID-19 as it is really a pandemic when you're talking about, there's an extraordinary divergence of risk between a vaccinated and an unvaccinated person. In response to the question just a bit ago, when I said that if you look at vaccinated versus unvaccinated, there's a 17 times greater chance of...
You know, all this is all true. I ain't saying nothing against you, Tony Fauci. Of course, I don't like everything that everybody says. Anyone, you know? But we have a greater problem ahead of us from war amongst ourselves than we do from coronavirus. We are so tensed up right now because of everything combined that our biggest danger is violence amongst each other. If we could just stop with all this divisiveness, we can get through this other stuff. Tony, you could admit this. You could admit that the virus ain't the biggest problem. We are going to lose more people today on DWIs, just physical violence, in jails, in hospitals. How about we fix all that today? Because the coronavirus, we don't even know what's going on. 1 minute one medicine works, 1 minute another medicine works. We don't truly know the way out based on what Tony Fauci said. Here, I'll let him talk for a minute. Let's see what he says.
Are being conducted right now, and they have to do with studies that are NIH sponsored, one of which is the Adaptive COVID-19 Treatment Trials, or ACT, ACTT, which in fact have been from the very beginning, as early as February of 2020, was the basis.
That's when I put out my song, Wuhan, never heard about Wuhan. City about 10 million, 2,000 flights a day leaving. Now they say there's 5 million gonna run around this planet, spread around COVID-19 to each and every one of us. Some will live, some will die. It remains to be seen about you and I. Talking about COVID-19. Oh, makes me so sad. Talking about Wuhan. Talking about Wuhan. Everybody knows they're leaving, but they ain't getting out of Wuhan. Said they're burning 1,000 people in the crematoriums. Do you think they would tell us? No. No, we're the arch enemy, America. So now we know about Wuhan. Man, I shed a lot of tears for Wuhan. Right up to Wuhan. It came into Baltimore, Liverpool, everywhere. Coming for me and you. And now we're praying for Wuhan. I think they all gonna be gone, except for a couple of the strong ones. So we pray for the weak ones and the strong ones and everyone affected by this Wuhan. Prayers go out to the world.
To be able to handle them with regard to everything from hospitalizations to treatment and other implementations.
This is right now.
And I appreciate that Assistant Secretary O'Connell is in a good position to follow up, and I would like to follow up after the hearing. But I did want to ask one other question to Dr. Walensky. We've long had problems with.
Yep. So we pray for America and all the Americans that give everything to everyone. And we pray for the weak ones and the strong ones and everyone affected by this Wuhan.